What if I told you that angels once walked the earth, rebelled against God, and brought chaos to humanity? This is the story of the fallen angels, the Watchers, and how Enoch played a pivotal role in their judgment. The Bible tells us in Genesis 6:1-2, when human beings began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. But their rebellion went far beyond this. They taught humanity forbidden knowledge, corrupted the earth, and gave rise to the Nephilim, giant beings who spread violence and terror. Today we'll uncover the biblical and ancient accounts of the Watchers, their fall, and the divine judgment that followed. This story comes from the Book of Enoch, an ancient text referenced in the Bible, which sheds light on the mysterious sons of God mentioned in Genesis 6. These sons of God were heavenly beings who rebelled against God, descended to earth, and brought chaos to humanity. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of the most mysterious and profound stories in the Bible. If you love exploring biblical truths, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others. Your support helps this channel grow and bring more inspiring content to you. The Watchers were a group of angels tasked with watching over humanity, but they became corrupt, led by their leader, Shemihaza. The Bible tells us in Genesis 6:1-2, when human beings began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. These sons of God were the Watchers, heavenly beings who abandoned their divine purpose. They descended to Mount Hermon, made a pact, and took human wives, defying God's order. This marked the beginning of their rebellion and the corruption of humanity. The Watchers didn't stop at taking human wives. They taught humanity forbidden knowledge, warfare, sorcery, and other corrupt practices. The Book of Enoch describes their actions in 1 Enoch 7:1-6. And they took wives for themselves and defiled themselves with them, and they taught them charms and enchantments. Their actions led to widespread violence, corruption, and the rise of the Nephilim, giant beings who terrorized the earth. These half-angel, half-human hybrids spread chaos and destruction, filling the earth with bloodshed and wickedness. God saw the wickedness on earth and decided to act. The corruption brought by the Watchers and the Nephilim had reached a tipping point. But before executing his judgment, God would send a messenger to confront the Watchers. This messenger was Enoch, a righteous man who walked with God. Enoch's faithfulness and obedience made him the perfect vessel to deliver God's message of judgment to the fallen angels. But what would Enoch say to these rebellious beings, and how would the Watchers respond? Enoch was a man of great faith, so righteous that he was taken up to heaven without experiencing death. The Bible tells us in Genesis 5:24, Enoch walked faithfully with God, then he was no more, because God took him away. Enoch's close relationship with God made him uniquely qualified for a divine mission. God sent Enoch to deliver a message of judgment to the Watchers, warning them of their impending doom. This was no ordinary task. Enoch would confront the very beings who had brought chaos to the earth. But Enoch, unwavering in his faith, obeyed God's command and set out to fulfill his mission. Enoch boldly confronted the Watchers, declaring their sins and the consequences they would face. The Book of Enoch records his powerful words in 1 Enoch 12:4-6. You have no peace, for you have abandoned the lofty and holy heaven. You shall not have peace. Enoch's message was clear. The Watchers had defied God, corrupted humanity, and now faced divine judgment. The Watchers trembled at Enoch's words, realizing their fate was sealed. In desperation, they begged Enoch to intercede on their behalf, pleading for mercy. But Enoch knew their rebellion had gone too far. Their judgment was inevitable. God decreed that the Watchers would be bound in chains and cast into darkness until the final judgment. The Bible confirms this in Jude 1:6. And the angels who did not keep their positions of authority, but abandoned their proper dwelling, these he has kept in darkness, bound with everlasting chains for judgment on the great day. The Watchers who once roamed the earth in pride and rebellion were now imprisoned in utter darkness, awaiting their ultimate fate. But their judgment didn't end there. The Nephilim, their monstrous offspring, were also destroyed. The great flood, sent by God, cleansed the earth of their corruption. This was a divine reset, a restoration of order after the chaos brought by the Watchers. This story of the Watchers, Enoch, and God's judgment carries profound theological significance. It reminds us of the consequences of rebellion against God and the importance of obedience. The Watchers, though created as holy beings, chose to defy God's order. Their pride and disobedience led to their downfall and brought chaos to the earth. This serves as a stark warning for us today. Just as the Watchers face judgment, we too must be mindful of our choices and their spiritual impact. Every decision we make, whether to obey or rebel, has eternal consequences. The story also highlights God's justice. He does not overlook sin, no matter who commits it. The Watchers, though powerful and celestial, were not exempt from judgment. This reassures us that God is fair and righteous, and He will ultimately restore order and justice. In contrast to the Watchers' rebellion, Enoch's unwavering faith and obedience serve as an example for us to follow. The Bible tells us in Hebrews 11:5, "By faith Enoch was taken from this life, so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away." Enoch's life was marked by his close walk with God. He didn't just believe in God, he lived out his faith every day. His obedience was so complete that God rewarded him by taking him directly to heaven, bypassing death. Enoch's legacy challenges us to examine our own lives. Are we walking faithfully with God, even when it's difficult? Are we willing to stand for truth, even when faced with opposition? Enoch's story reminds us that a life of faith and obedience is not only possible, but deeply rewarding. As we reflect on this story, let's ask ourselves, what can we learn from the fall of the Watchers and Enoch's faithfulness? The Watchers' rebellion shows us the dangers of pride, disobedience, and straying from God's purpose. Enoch's life, on the other hand, shows us the beauty of faithfulness, obedience, and walking closely with God. These lessons are not just ancient history, they are deeply relevant to our lives today. Think about your own life. Are there areas where you've allowed pride or rebellion to take root? Are there decisions you've made that have led you away from God's purpose? The good news is that it's never too late to turn back. God is merciful and ready to forgive, but He also calls us to live lives of obedience and faithfulness. Let me leave you with this thought-provoking question. Are you walking in obedience to God, or are you allowing sin to take root in your life? Take a moment to reflect on this. What steps can you take today to align your life more closely with God's will? If you enjoyed this video and found its message meaningful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more biblical stories that inspire and challenge us to live faithfully. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What stood out to you most about this story? Share your reflections in the comments below. And if you know someone who would benefit from this message, please share this video with them. Next time, we'll explore another interesting biblical account that will deepen your understanding of God's Word and His plan for humanity. Until then, stay faithful, walk with God, and remember, obedience to Him is always worth it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.